Let's discuss the code. Rest of the code you can find on my blog, and I explain it in very simple language. So the main purpose of this video to understand this command. So our SI is holding right now the flink, and flink is pointing to the anti-DLL flink. So right now we are on this part of the structure, and it's pointing to the anti-DLL structure. Assume that this is the anti-DLL structure which holds the metadata of the DLL. So right now this structure is pointing to this value. So what do load SQ do? Load SQ load string quad word, and it's 64-bit command, and so it stores the value. Assume that this is the flink we are right now, and it's pointing to this part of the structure. So it takes the value from this, which is pointing to this value, it stores in RAX, which means right now the flink is pointing to this. So it stores the value which is pointing to. So it's storing the value of anti-DLL flink. So RAX is holding this part of the structure. So in the structure we have the DllBase address which we need to execute any function. So if we want to execute any function from anti-DLL, so we need the base address of anti-DLL first. So this DllBase address we can find here. So after getting that RAX into this, so by the using offset of 0x20 we will have the base address. In short, if we don't do these commands, these two, we can have the DllBase address of the anti-DLL. So next we did exchange RAX to RSI, which means we swap the value. So RSI is holding the value of anti-DLL base address. Sorry, anti-DLL flink, not the base address. So RSI is holding. So anti-DLL flink pointing to the next module or next node. Let's assume that it's pointing to the kernel 32 base flink. So when we did load SQ, so it's storing this value into RAX. So right now assume this is the kernel 32 DLL structure, metadata where is stored, and now RAX is pointing to this part of the memory, this part of the structure. So if we want a kernel 32 DllBase address, we can just use the offset and we will get the DllBase address. So that's how we find the DllBase address in assembly. We just use the sequence over and over, and use the double link library, double link list to jump from one DLL to another DLL, or we can say that we can jump to one flink to another flink. I just summarize this. So LODSQ, load sequence quad word, stores the flink into RAX, which means first flink is pointing to another flink. So which flink it's pointing to, it gets stored into RAX. Simple as that. So we repeat it over and over again so that we can jump to different DLL. So next when we jump, it's it pointing to this, so this value gets stored in RX, then this value gets stored in RX, but we have to exchange the value between RX and RSA. We have to swap the value, then we again do load SQ, then we will jump to another DLL. So in last, when we want the base DLL value, so the address, so we can just use the offset of 0x20 and add it into RX, just like here. We are here right now, and we want this DLL base address. We use the offset of 0x20, then we will have the DLL base address. So that's how we find the address of DLL base address, which is important when we want to execute any function from any DLL. So we will need the base address of the DLL, so that we can use that DLL to execute a function from that DLL. Let's execute and try that. Let's open the CMD. So this is the kernel 32 DLL base address. If I want to execute any function from this DLL, I have the base address. I can use it to execute any function. I hope this video helped you, and this is my first video using my voice, and I fumble a little bit, but that's what I can do right now. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this information helped you in any way. Thank you.